Hey everyone! Today we're tackling something that trips a lot of people up, multiplying a fraction by a whole number. But I'm going to show you a super simple trick that makes it, well, easy. Let's just dive right in.
Okay, let's just throw a problem on the board. What is 5/8 times 32? Yeah, I know it looks a little messy, but trust me, stick with me for a couple of minutes and you'll see how to solve this, maybe even without a calculator. So, what's the first move? Well, the whole thing, the entire process, comes down to one really simple idea. Once you get this one thing, everything else just clicks into place. It's like the key that unlocks the whole puzzle. And here it is. This is the big secret. Any whole number, I'm talking any of them, like our 32 here, can be turned into a fraction. How? You just put it over 1. That's it. The number's value doesn't change one bit, but turning it into a fraction, oh, that changes everything. It makes the math so much easier.
Okay, let's do it then. We take that 32, and poof, we write it as 32 over 1. And just like that, our problem isn't a fraction times a whole number anymore. Now it's a fraction times another fraction, which is way, way easier to handle. Now we're all set up for the really cool part.
All right, so now we have 5/8 times 32 over 1. You could just multiply 5 by 32, but who wants to deal with big numbers like that? There's a much smarter way, a shortcut that's going to save you a ton of work. It's all about making the numbers smaller before you even start multiplying.
This right here, this is the pro move. Before you multiply anything, just pause. Take a second and look at the numbers diagonally. See if a number on the top and a number on the bottom share a factor. Can they both be divided by the same thing? This little check can save you so much headache later on.
Okay, so back to our problem. 5 over 8 times 32 over 1. Let's look diagonally. You see that 8 on the bottom and that 32 on the top? Is there a connection there? Oh yeah, for sure, and we are totally going to use that.
Okay, check this out. This is where the magic really happens. We all know 8 goes into 32, right? It goes in 4 times. So instead of 32, let's think of it as 8 times 4. Now look at the problem. You've got an 8 on the bottom and an 8 on the top. What can we do? We can just cancel them out. They're gone. And what are we left with? A super simple problem, just 5 times 4. How cool is that?
And that's it. 5 times 4 is 20. Boom. Done. Super clean, super simple. No multiplying 5 by 32. See? That is the awesome power of canceling first.
Okay, so canceling is amazing when you can do it. But what happens when you look at the numbers and there's nothing to cancel? What do you do then? Well, then we just have to go the direct route. Let's take a look at this one, 4/5 times 3. So first step is always the same, right? We turn that 3 into 3 over 1. But now, look diagonally. Between the 4 and the 1? Nope. Between the 3 and the 5? Nope. There's nothing to cancel. So what now?
It's actually even easier. When you can't cancel, you just multiply straight across. You just multiply the top numbers, the numerators, so 4 times 3 gives us 12. And then you multiply the bottom numbers, the denominators. 5 times 1 is 5. And that's pretty much it.
So our answer is 12 over 5. Great, but hold on a second. We're not quite done. Do you see how the number on top, the 12, is bigger than the number on the bottom, the 5? That's a special kind of fraction, and it means we have one more little step to clean things up and really finish this problem properly.
Yeah, this last step is all about making your answer look good. It's about polishing it up. When you get a fraction like 12 over 5, you generally want to change it into a form that's a little easier for people to understand at a glance. This thing is called an improper fraction, and that's just a fancy name for any fraction where the top number is bigger than the bottom. It's a totally fine number, nothing wrong with it, but, in math class we usually like to write it a different way.
And what we want to turn it into is a mixed number. A mixed number is just, well, it's a mix. It's a whole number with a little fraction part left over. It just shows you how many whole things you have and what little piece is remaining. This is what we're aiming for as our final polished answer.
And you know what's cool? There's actually more than one way to do this conversion. I'm going to show you 2 different methods. They both work perfectly, so you can just pick whichever one makes more sense to you.
So to show you how these methods work, let's grab a new example. Let's take the improper fraction 40 over 9. The question is, how do we turn this into a nice, clean, mixed number?
All right, so here are the 2 ways, side by side. On the left, we have the division method. This is probably the one you're most familiar with. You just ask yourself, how many times can 9 go into 40? Well, 9 times 4 is 36, so it goes in 4 whole times. And what's left over? The remainder from 36 to 40 is 4, so you get 4 and 4 nines. Simple. Now on the right, we have what I call the break apart method. Here, you think, what's the biggest multiple of 9 that's less than 40? Well, that's 36, so you can break 40 nines into 2 pieces, 36 nines plus 4 nines. And we know that 36 divided by 9 is just 4, so you get 4 plus 4 nines. The exact same answer, 4 and 4 nines. See? 2 totally different ways to think about it, but they both get you to the right place.
Okay, so let's just boil this all down to the 3 big rules. Rule number 1, any whole number can become a fraction just by putting it over 1. That's your first step, always. Rule number 2, always look for things to cancel before you multiply. Seriously, it will make your life so much easier. And finally, rule number 3, if your answer is a top-heavy, improper fraction, take that extra step to convert it into a mixed number. That's how you get the perfect final answer.
So there you have it. Multiplying fractions by whole numbers is officially demystified. But you know, this gets you thinking, doesn't it? If this is how you multiply, what about dividing? How would you use these same ideas to divide a fraction times a whole number? Something to chew on for next time. Thanks for hanging out with me.